Hey friends, welcome to the 73rd episode of the Sunday Knitting Society podcast. My name is Chelsea and I'm a knitter in Oklahoma City. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. Hope you guys have had a good 2 weeks. It's been a bad 2 weeks here. We finally hit fall and we hit fall early, which is fantastic. Right now, I think it's like 68 degrees outside. Like, I actually have windows open all over my house because it just feels so nice. Like, this is relatively unusual for us in September, like early September. Usually we're still rocking the 90s. It does get up to 80s later this week, which is sad, but I'm going to enjoy it for today because it's like this morning it was actually a little chilly. Like, I would have been uncomfortable outside in a t-shirt, and that's pretty exciting. So I've definitely, I want to knit all the things, and that's exciting. I also went through, today is going to have a lot of stash acquisition. So I've done a do stash the last 2 weeks. Thank you guys for buying all of my yarn that I don't want to use, that I'm not going to use. I've sold almost everything, which is pretty cool. All but one I dropped off at the post office today, or the previous week I actually checked, those should have already all been delivered. But the stuff I sold yesterday, dropped off this morning. And then there's one that, I will drop off later this week. So it just feels good to get these things that I'm not going to use out of my house. They've been on my dining room table for 2 weeks. And it's been driving me crazy because it feels like fall and I want to decorate, but I've got a whole dining room table covered in yarn. So today I reclaimed my dining room table and I went to Anthropologie and I got a new fall table runner and a candle, and I bought some pumpkins. And I even at Target, I'm blending my fall and Halloween because they happen at the same season anyway. So there was these little ice cube trays that make little ice cubes that look like snakes. And so I have a drink downstairs that has a little snake ice cube in it. I'm not bringing it upstairs because last time I brought a drink upstairs, I kicked it over. So I might regret that. But yeah, I'm in the mood for fall. I want to knit everything. I'm starting to gear up for Christmas knitting. I'm not quite there yet. I'm in the planning phase, but not fully the doing phase yet. I actually thought I was gonna have a completed sweater to talk about today, but it was a bit of a disaster. So, but it's better now. So I'll talk about that. So I've got some whips. I've got a lot of stash, and I've got some giveaway winners. So last episode was my 3-year anniversary of podcasting. And another thing I realized, that I'm not sure when this happened, but we are now over 3,000, over 3,100 subscribers to this channel. And that's crazy. And so we're going to it's going to be for both because I don't know when I hit 3,000, but, yeah, so I've got 3 different giveaway winners. I'm going to, put those up on the screen at the end of the episode. So, okay. My dog is happily downstairs eating a new bully stick. That, so if you hear any crunching really loud, that's her trying to bite into a bully stick. Which, if you've never looked up what those are, you don't want to know. You just don't. Okay, I'm gonna start with my boring knit. Because I've actually made a tiny bit of progress on it. So this is my vanilla sock. I have one that's already done. And then getting kind of close to the heel turn. I don't know how much more I have left. Got a few stripes left. And then I need to actually figure out how many stripes I have left before I turn the heel. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. That's pretty cool. Okay, well, I'm getting close on that. So I'm kind of ready to start. Like, I wonder if I have a Halloween. I think I do have one. I think I have a Halloween striped sock yarn called Brouhaha. I need to do that. So that's hanging out in my sexy carrot bag. So that's the boring whip. The next whip, I'm like, actually, I wish I had more time to spend on it. So I'm holding it in this little zipper bag that I got from Fruitfest. Can't remember which country it was. It was Scandinavia. The problem with my trip to Scandinavia, it was my first time going to Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. And because I went to so many yarn shops and it was like a relatively short trip, so I was moving a lot, I honestly get all those countries confused now. And I cannot remember which country this was in. I want to say it was Denmark, but I could be completely wrong. So, but it was a really fun store. I enjoyed it. And it's the perfect size to fit this project. So I had a very short work trip, like Dallas, last week, and I don't like driving, and I actually didn't realize it until like 2 weeks before the trip. I do for a couple different companies, I do speaking, which is ironic, but just because of the whole reason I started this podcast. But one of the companies was having me talk in Dallas, and I didn't realize they'd already booked flights for me. I was going to ask for a driver so I could be a passenger princess and knit in the car. And also because I hate American Airlines because their flights are always chaos. Even though it's a 35-minute flight, it will be delayed. I will have to like check my rolly bag. And this was a very short trip, but I ended up bringing a rolly carry-on simply so I didn't have to carry a heavy bag. And I did end up using half of what was in my rolly carry-on, which is fine. But I was kind of panicking because the only other project I was working on at the time was quite a big project and it had a lot of fluff in it. And I've learned that when you're wearing black, especially like professional black, and you knit something fuzzy, you get covered in fuzz. And so I knew I needed something with no fuzz. I was initially I was thinking I was just taking like a tote bag, and so I wanted something really small, but I didn't want a sock. And so what I ended up deciding to make was a Sophie shawl, like the big Sophie shawl, because I figured even though that's big, it does still kind of compact down. And I went through several different options with that. The problem is it's like a DK worsted weight, and you actually need a decent amount of yarn to make the full-sized one, which is what I wanted, and nothing really felt right. And so I did what I sometimes do, where I just lay down right here in front of these shelves and just wait for inspiration to strike, and it did. So I am making a Sophie shawl out of my hand spun. Isn't this so fun? I figured this is perfect for hand spun because it's garter, so it's gonna hide some of the inconsistencies in my spinning. And I have no idea what this is. I have two skeins of this wound up. It's the right weight. I actually think these are different. I don't think these are the same. This is a lot more green in it, but I figured that'd be kind of fun too. So this is what I'm going to be making the second half of it in. Isn't that fun? Yeah, so I have a way that I keep track of what row I'm on with the Sophie shawl. So I always have a right side marker, and that's what I don't take off. That's always on the right side. And the way, so the right side's an odd side, so it's row 1 is the right side. And then I always keep, sorry, no. Right side's even. Right side's even. I'm like, it's been a couple days since I worked on this. So I always put a removable stitch marker on the first row. So my row 1, and I keep it on the odd side. And then what I basically do, and you can generalize this to any pattern like this, is I pay really close attention for the first couple times I work this, and I very closely count. And so whatever number you have to get to, I count very carefully. And then when it's time to work the next row 1, I look and I count how many bump rows do I have. And once I know what that looks like, that's when I take it. And so now I don't even have to count. I just know what it looks like when I've hit the certain number of rows, and then I can, I replace it with the next row 1. So that's how I keep track of things. Otherwise, I think it would drive me crazy. So I think I'm at 40 stitches. I think the big one goes to like 60 something. I'll probably, I don't know, I'll go till I feel like I'm ready to be done. I didn't weigh this before I started, which probably was kind of stupid. But like in my mind, I was going to have so much downtime on this trip because I was doing 2 speaking engagements. And then I was going to be at the hotel afterward. And I was going to have tons of time in the airport. And actually, I had very little time. So I realized very, what was it? Like, so they make the slide deck for me. And I've spoken from the same slide deck before, so I'm very familiar with it. So I pulled it up like the day before and went through the first slide deck and realized, oh, they changed things. But they didn't change it a lot. So it's like, okay, this is fine. Then I didn't have time to go through the second deck, but I figured, again, I've done it before, it's fine. So I ended up not getting back to my hotel until pretty late, like after 9 o'clock. And so pulled up my slide deck, and they changed it a lot. And at this point I'm tired because I've been up all day. And so I tried really hard to like go through the slides, and I just couldn't. So I figured, okay, I'm gonna wake up early the next morning and I'll go through the slides, make sure I'm comfortable with it. So I didn't knit really at all that night, then got up early the next morning, went through the slides, felt comfortable with it, get to the talk, and they're using the old slides. It was great. It's like, are you kidding me? So I didn't have any time to knit in the morning. And then surprisingly, for like the first time ever, all of my American Airlines flights were on time. Like even a little early. So I really had very little time to knit. And so in my mind, I was going to finish a Sophie shawl on this trip, which was probably ridiculous anyway. But I think I made it to like here, but when I got back, so it still made some progress. But this is just a nice, like, it's not totally mindless because you do kind of have to pay attention to where you are in the pattern. You do have increases, you do turn fairly frequently, but it's not like high level thinking knitting. I'm also using my new shorty set. These are 3-inch tips, and what I did was, if I can show this. So somebody, actually a few people told me you can actually put these on the regular small lace tips. So what I did was I just connected 2 of them. So I think, I don't know what this is, like 20 inches maybe at this point. So it's working perfectly. I think if this were a bigger or heavier project, those 3-inch tips would not work for me. But for this project, it works great. So there's that. Okay, this is the project that I rescued from the jaws of defeat. So this is my repurposed October sweater. Oh gosh, it is just an absolute tangle. Okay, so I started using this yarn to knit an October sweater, which is a sweater by PetiteKnit. It looks so pretty on her. Now her pattern, like main pattern pattern picture. Why is my brain not working and I cannot think of words, or I'm putting all of the same word. The main photo she uses is a black sweater, and it's beautiful, but the problem with the black sweater is you just can't see a lot of detail. And so I started knitting that sweater, and I didn't love the construction, to be honest, from the beginning, because if I'm doing a top-down sweater and it's a raglan, I want to work the collar at the beginning. I don't want to come back later and pick up the collar. I don't enjoy picking up stitches. But this pattern had you start in the back and you work your short rows out, and then you connect it, and then you start down, which is fine. So I started doing that, and then I'd gotten, I don't think how far I'd gotten. I got like to the sleeve separation, and shortly after that, or shortly before that, I had to switch. I ran out of yarn, so I switched over balls, and a couple inches in, I started realizing you can see where I switched. And why wasn't I helical knitting the whole time? So I started helical knitting. And then like a couple inches after it must have been before, a couple inches after they split for the sleeves, I put it on a cord and tried it on. I actually added the collar. But because I was starting to realize I was going to run out of yarn, I'd already ordered more. I actually got the last skein of Birdie in Radish they had at Lamb & Kid. I had to call the store and I literally got the last one. But I'd already ordered more, but I knew I was going to probably be short. And so for the collar, though I prefer a folded collar and I prefer a 1x1, pattern says to do a 2x2. So I did it, and they didn't have a folded collar in there. So I thought, okay, fine. So I did a 2x2 collar. I didn't like it. So I had a 2x2 flat collar, and then I'd split for the sleeves, had a couple inches, tried it on. It was enormous. Like, it was huge. And I realized too that the sleeve hole, is that what they call it? Sleeve opening, whatever, was like halfway down my torso. And I was like, that sleeve doesn't seem like I'm gonna like it. So then I started pulling up the pattern on Ravelry and started looking at other people's patterns and realized this is intentionally a very oversized sweater. Like, it is slouchy, it is shapeless, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, that is the intent, is that it's gonna be slouchy, like looks like you stole your boyfriend or your husband's sweater kind of thing, but it's not what I wanted. It's not at all what I wanted. And when I actually put it on, you could so clearly see where I changed yarn, balls of yarn. And I kept trying to tell myself, like, it's not a big deal, don't worry about it. And it was just like, no, it actually really annoyed me. So I ripped it out. I ripped out everything. It took me about a night or like a day doing it. Maybe like one evening and the next morning or something. But I just put on some TV and just started. So unfortunately it's fingering weight and Surrey alpaca. I didn't freeze it. I was prepared to freeze it if it started getting really knotted, but it really never did. But yeah, I have now, where'd it go? Like, rewinding Surrey alpaca is just an absolute delight. So it's extra fluffy now. But I started looking for different patterns that I could do that would kind of be more the vibe I was going for. And I forgot about the classic from Espace Tricot. I think it was Melissa Clulo and Mona. I forget Mona's last name. But so this pattern, I've actually made it before, but when I made it in a fingering weight yarn. So it's got a fairly open gauge, and I just did a skinny collar. This one, I did a very substantial folded collar because I knew at this point too that I'd ordered more yarn, so I wasn't worried about running out. I have this backwards. And I helical knitted. Helical knit. I think you can see, like, I think it's like right in here is where I started helical knitting, but it looks so much more uniform. I'm like 1.5 inches. No, I'm 3 inches. I started watching Wednesday last night and I just zoomed through it. So helical knitting is slightly annoying because you can't just mindlessly knit, because you have to, at the beginning of every round, you have to swap. And so that's kind of irritating. I haven't tried this on yet, and I really should. But I already, like, I know that this fits over my head. I have tried that on, and I really like that high collar. Oh, it's like, it's so cute. I'm almost done with one ball. It's so messy down in this bag. Oh, it's gonna take forever to sort that out. So these are the first two. This is I keep wanting to say mohair, but it's Surrey. So that's how much I have left of the first little bit, and then the others I have more of. But I have received, I have a new, so I'm using Trio, which I kind of messed up this skein, but this is their merino cashmere nylon. It's got 450 yards, so there's quite a bit in that. And then I'm using Birdie, which I don't think, actually I have a fresh skein of this. This one doesn't have as much yardage, so I ended up getting 5 of these. Although the classic uses a little bit less yardage, so I actually maybe could have done the classic without buying extra, but I just feel better, and I love this color, so if I end up with extra of this color, I will not be sad. The other thing I did, so this pattern doesn't actually have you fold down the collar. They have you do a 4-inch like turtleneck kind of thing, but I went ahead and tacked it down, and I liked this so much that I actually figured out the numbers I would need to make it a hat. And if I have enough extra, I'm actually gonna make a matching hat. I think I'm gonna do it anyway, but cast on, do like 1x1 rib for a long period of time, fold it over, tack it down, and then switch to a smaller needle or a bigger needle and do just a plain stockinette hat. Just think that'd be so cute. So yeah, I'm so pumped about this one. Oh, I'm so excited. I also went up a needle size. I'm now using a US 7 instead of a 6. So it's going faster. I like the fabric better. I should try it on. I cleaned out my yarn room and I found these are from Denim and Rain from last year's flock. And then my beginning of round marker is from my friend Yeji. So, and then I'm keeping it in my newest fat squirrel bag. So that is my weekend plans. I am obsessed with the TV show Wednesday. I've dressed up as Wednesday for Halloween. I think I've watched season 1. I lost count. I watched it so much. And season 2, I didn't realize they were going to do this to me. So the first 4 episodes were out, so I watched them gleefully over like the course of 2 or 3 days. And then I realized they weren't dropping the second 4 episodes until September 3rd. But I thought they were going to be dropping them once a week. And I was like, oh good, I can watch one every weekend. And I realized, no, I finished that, and now I'm going to have to sit with it for 2 weeks and wait for more episodes to come out. And that made me sad. Are my neighbors coming home? Okay, she's parking in her garage, so it's fine. Okay, that is all I have for whips. No FOs today. Is that right? Yeah, no FOs. But maybe next time the classic will be an FO. But I did a lot of shopping. So there were things that I saw at Flock that I think I mentioned this last time. I didn't end up buying, or I bought 1 skein, and I really wish I had gotten more, but I was feeling proud of myself for not overdoing it. And then I came home and I was watching everybody's videos, and I got swept up and went online and bought yarn. So, which obviously I need. I don't think I mentioned this. I rearranged all my yarn, at least on these shelves, this level. So we got different colors behind me now. I just felt like it needed to happen. I'm probably going to go through these top ones too and just kind of reshuffle everything. But anyway, so I have some things that I bought very like adjacent to Flock, and then the rest is Christmas stuff for my nieces. So I'll start with that. My oldest niece, I think I've mentioned this, she put an order for Christmas. So she was up in my yarn room one day and she was like, I asked her, you know, what color sweater do you want for Christmas? Because I normally make them a sweater for Christmas. And she was like, oh, I want a green sweater. And she pointed out the yarn, and she's like, and I want a hat out of this and a scarf out of this. And then she stopped and she goes, why aren't you writing this down? You're gonna forget it all. It's like, okay. So I wrote it all down. She's not getting what she thinks she's getting, but she is gonna get a hat, a scarf, mittens, and a sweater, all in different greens. So Pearl Soho had a Labor Day sale, so I bought a lot from them because most of their stuff is going to be from there. So the first one is, this is her sweater. It says Tree Frog, I think. Yeah. So I have 3 of these. I don't know that I'm actually going to need all 3 of them, but I didn't want to have to order more later. So she's 7. She's a string bean. So I want to make this plenty long for her. But I need to remeasure her and my younger niece because they've grown. And so I can't really make their sweaters until I know how much what their circumference and length is. So this is going to be her sweater. Then the scarf, I think I'm going to start pretty soon. So the scarf is going to be out of Widgeon. I think that's what this is. Yeah, these are both Widgeon. I had a panic moment where I was like, is one of them knitting yarn? So this is in golden green, I think. Golden olive. So she wanted a garter stitch rectangle scarf. Easy. I think I'm going to add fringe on the edge. I just realized I said fringe wrong. Or weird. Fringe. I'm going to add fringe to it just to give it a little pizzazz. So that's going to probably, and I think I'm going to hold this double. And then the next 2, okay, there's 1, and then I don't know what the next one will be. So this is probably going to be mittens for her. This is Metamorphic from Spin Cycle. I'm using this for mittens because I think I'll need the least amount of yardage, and I still want to make a sweater out of this. Plus, this is a little bit more rough, and so I don't think she would want a sweater or a hat out of this, or a scarf. So it's not itchy, it's just not as soft. So far we've got this. And then for the hat, is that right? Scarf? Yeah. I might use this, but I'm not sure I'm gonna have enough. So this is Sandus Garn Smart, which is a DK weight superwash yarn. And I have 2 skeins of this. This is colorway 8264. So I have 2 skeins of this, but I might need it for something else. So I'll show you that in a minute. I'm just gonna get these out of the way. I have obviously a couple more greens that I might use instead of this, but I asked my sister what the little niece, what color sweater she wanted for Christmas, and her response was rainbow. Like, okay, cool. That's a lot of yarn I have to buy. So I did go through my stuff just to kind of figure out, okay, what do I have? And what I found is I actually did have some knitting yarn from Pearl Soho, so that's what we're gonna go with. I'm actually gonna start, I don't even know what this yarn is. Oh, I do, because it has a thing. What are you? Oh, this is from, I think, your sweater last year. So this, and now the tag is not going back in. This is the Wandering Flock. So this is gonna be the top. I actually think I'm gonna use this knitting yarn in the Heirloom White for the cuffs and the collar and the hem, just to kind of ground it a little bit. So we'll have that, and then the rest of it pretty much is knitting yarn. So we've got Red Geranium. You guys might have to just use your imagination because I'm not sure I'll be able to hold all this. So we've got Red Geranium, then we've got Tiger Lily. Then we've got Lemon Drop. So these are our warms. Then we've got, what is it now? then I was going to use this, the Sandisk yarn. Then this one, which is Bright Jade. Let's see if we can do that. Then, what was this? Black Flower Blue. And then Chive Blossom. I wonder if I could do, oh gosh. So this is going to be her sweater. So, and not drop all this. Oh gosh. Well, that lasted long. So, I will obviously have extra. So her mittens, hat, and scarf are going to come out of this, except I did think this would be really cute for a hat for her. This is like uber fluffy. It's Holskarn Cielo, which is alpaca, fine merino, and polyamide. And this color is Waterfall. So it's fluffy. I don't think it's itchy. I just thought that would be a fun, and it would still kind of be within the rainbow color family. So that's gonna be her sweater. So again, I need to measure her. I need to figure out what sweater I'm making. I think last year I made the sibling sweaters for her, or for both of them. I might do, I don't know. Molly has moved up here with her bully stick. We're still working on it though. She's been so cuddly lately. It's been really sweet. She just wants to come up and get lots of snuggles. Okay, so that's the rest of the Purl Soho acquisitions. I've got 3 more and 1 thing of fabric. So I ordered some yarn from Knitting for Olive during their fundraiser to raise funds to help with aid in Gaza. So I ordered a couple different things, and I think everybody got kind of lucky that mine got delivered about a week before the tariffs went into effect. So that was great. So I got 2 colors. One of them I got because I thought it was pretty, and one of them I got just because I thought the name was funny. So the one I got because I thought it was pretty is Pea Shoots. And I got this in their normal merino, which is the fingering weight. I got 10 of these, and I think I know what pattern I'm going to do with it, but I cannot remember the name of it, and I'm still not certain I'm going to do that, because I think with this I have enough to make pretty much anything. So I'll probably hold double. But yeah, so I have a lot of that. The one I got because of the name is this one, which is called Dusty Moose. It's kind of like a slightly taupe gray. And I got 2 of these. I don't know what I was going to make with them. I might make some like fingerless mitts. I might make a hat. I don't know. But I have 2 of them. So it just seemed fun. And then my mom got some yarn in the same order. She got the same blue that I got in the pure silk that I made my simple yoke or plain yoke tee in. Okay, the next one I did buy one of these at Flock, and I loved it so much, I went back on their website and bought out the rest of what they had in inventory. So this is Tumalo Fibers We Wonder. It's Shetland wool, fingering weight, and this is the colorway Watermelon. So I now have 8 skeins of this. I anticipate I'll probably hold this double as well. And obviously, this is like my color family right now. I don't know what I'm gonna make with it, but this is like, this is more rustic, it's Shetland, but it's not itchy. This is gonna be one of those sweaters that lives forever. So yeah, and one thing I thought was really cool, so their website was still up and shipping during Flock, which I thought was kind of unusual because a lot of people will close down their online shops while they're there. Not everybody, but they had theirs open, and so I went ahead and bought more yarn. I figured it would be delayed though, just because Flock. And so didn't bother me at all. Obviously not in a rush to get it. But then I got like a week after Flock, I got an email from them saying, we're so sorry for the delay. They're actually moving warehouses, which is pretty cool. Somewhere bigger. And so the move had kind of delayed things, but it wasn't delayed, but they sent me a coupon code, which is really nice, just to say like, we're sorry for the delay. Here's a coupon code for your next delivery. And then literally the next day I got a shipping confirmation. So good customer service. And they have a lot of really pretty yarns. So yay for that. Sorry guys. This is where having a drink would be nice. Oh, you can still see my cough drops. I guess if it gets bad enough, at least I've got those there. Okay, the last one was one that I wanted to buy at Flock, but I think I was feeling a little overwhelmed. I was having a bit of decision paralysis. I was looking at one color and the reason I didn't get it is I kept thinking, I don't know if that's the right color for me. Like, I just don't know if that's going to look that good on me. But I like the yarn a lot. So the yarn is Sprite, which is a sport weight. It's 60% merino, 40% Cordale, grown and milled in the US. I would assume also dyed in the US. So I ended up getting it in jewelweed, which is like, it's like orange leaning red to me. And I got 6 of these. So I'm not sure quite what I'm going to make with it, but I just think in the winter too, when everything's gray, this is going to be so fun and joyful and just pop. So, I'm going to throw it everywhere. So yeah, oh, it's so squishy and so nice. Again, I don't know what I'm going to make with it. It's got such a nice like round spin on it. Like this could show off cables. I don't enjoy cables. I did buy a glass cable needle, but I don't really enjoy making cables. So I don't know, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do something else with it. I'm not sure. Okay, that's all for the yarn. I did get some fabric. I will probably be getting more fabric from a pre-order by the end of this month. Maybe by next time. But this one was not a pre-order. This is from Matchy Matchy. So they had some new, I think this is a linen, yeah. So I got some of this beautiful green checkered linen. Love it. I did think when I was looking at it online, for some reason I thought these checks were bigger. That's on me. But maybe I was just seeing more like the bigger, because there are some bolder lines in here and then finer checks in between. But I still think this is really pretty. And I think this will be a good fall dress. So I got 3.5 yards of this. And I don't know what I'm gonna make with it, but something pretty. I was about to reach for my drink and I don't have it. Okay, well, that is pretty much it for me. So let's do the giveaway. So this giveaway is to celebrate my 3rd year podcasting. It is for a digital gift card and it will be winner's choice. So whichever gift card, I think I forgot the 3 options. Oh no. I will write them up here with the 3 options where I think it was Spin Cycle, Farmer's Daughter Fibers, and Lamb and Kid. That's what it was. So those are the 3 options for gift card. And I will put the 3 winners up here. So if you would shoot me an email, and it'll be in the bio, the email address, and let me know which one you want and I will email it back to you. I love reading these comments. Oh my goodness. So the question to enter was, what was the first thing you ever knit or made? And some of these stories were hilarious. Like, oh my goodness. There's a lot of really sentimental knits. There was a lot of stuff that is still in use, which is really cool. So people, like one person made a dishcloth that she still uses every day, and I love that. I forget now, but like I absolutely loved reading through all your comments. That was so fun. I want to like do giveaways all the time just so I can like read all those comments. They're so fun. So thank you for that. That was very enjoyable to read. You guys are all so sweet and I love getting to do this with you. So I think that is about it for me. I'm gonna spend the rest of today knitting, maybe like fallifying my house. I'm kind of at that point where like I'm getting enough energy to start decorating, but not, I'm still tired. I started running last week. It had been, so I had run very intermittently, like once a month, maybe. I hadn't done an outside run since November last year. And I decided to start running again. I was, so I kind of joke that running is an antidepressant for me, but it is so true. Like if I am starting to get really down and starting to get cranky and just irritable, and I start running, my mood lifts. And I've definitely seen that. So I went for a run yesterday after work, and I definitely feel like more, I don't feel overwhelmed, which is great. Because that's usually for me how it starts, is I start feeling overwhelmed by little things. But I did realize there are a couple of phases of running for me. The first phase is the like, oh, I don't want to go for a run, like drag it. Like I know I'm gonna enjoy it, but like I don't want to. And so it's like, oh, drag yourself to go run. The second phase is like pure euphoria. Like everything is wonderful. Life is the best. I love everyone. Like everything's going perfect. I'm just so happy. And then the third phase is I need a nap. So yesterday, before I posted the D-stash, I got home after my run, took a shower, sat on my couch with some knitting and a podcast. And I think it was the Crayabeas podcast, and I slept. I was kind of reclining, but like in a more seated position with my hands holding my yarn. And I just kept waking up. I was so tired. And I kept thinking, you cannot sleep through 6 o'clock because that's when you have to post everything on Instagram. And thankfully I didn't. But like I probably took an hour-long nap before dinner, which is just kind of crazy. But clearly my body needed that. So I am sleeping better now, taking care of myself. I'm running. My mood is improving. It's good. And the weather's getting better. And I'm so ready for fall. I hate summer. I really do. I like the light of summer, but I hate the heat. So I'm so ready for that. I'm also gearing up for a trip with my parents in October. They don't know where we're going, so I'm not going to say on here. They're very good sports, and they're finding out the night before we go. So I have everything planned. The only thing I'm lacking are a few restaurants, but I have to make sure that I search for restaurants when I'm not hungry, because that's not fun. So anyway, well, I'm going to go edit this, organize all the yarn so it's not giving me anxiety, and watch probably some knitting podcasts and do some knitting. So I hope you guys have a good couple weeks. I think I'll be back in 2 weeks. It just kind of depends. Work is going to be a little crazy that week, so we'll see. But as long as everything goes good, I'll be back in 2 weeks. And I hope you guys have a good 2 weeks. I almost said I hope you guys have a good time, but I do. I hope you guys have a good 2 weeks. I hope you get lots of time for knitting and crafting. I hope you get a chance to move your body, and that it can be medicine for our bodies as well. And I hope you get to be around people you love. All right, I'll see you guys back in 2 weeks. Bye.